Hey everyone, we're here with Sean Murphy. He's a BMW master technician. He owns this beautiful F87 BMW M2, and let's learn about his journey to this car.
Hey Peter, you would have bought the clicker thing, but I get to use it. This is Prabal Dev, this is Sean Murphy, and a true BMW M car. Take one.
Is it? It's been 50 years of M, and this week we also launched the G87 M2, so it's very timely that we're talking about this car here. Let's start with your journey to this car as well. What got you into BMWs and into this BMW M2?
So growing up, I was always a muscle car guy. Father having a classic Camaro, always going around to Camaro and muscle car shows. And my first fun car was a Mustang. So one of my friends purchased a E60 M5 in Florida, asked if we wanted to go on a trip down and drive it back. Me and another friend, we flew down, picked up the car, had a great drive back, and that's where my love for BMWs came from. The V10 in that car just sounds incredible, yeah. Especially with the exhaust on it, and that led to me getting a E46 M3, and now into the F87.
Wow, I had no idea you had a E46 M3 before this.
It was short-lived. I had it for a bit over a year, and then finances kind of forced me to sell it. Yeah, got back into something else, which I think resembles the core M car that the E46 had. Yeah. I think this is one of the closest things you can get into that. It was more the modern stuff. Now with the G87 coming out, it's pushing the boundaries even more. So
we haven't been able to see it personally yet, but they say it's wider, more aggressive looking. It's not as beautiful looking as this car.
I don't think it's as good looking of a car, but it is very aggressive. There was a lot of negativity around it in the upcoming weeks to the launch. Yeah. So watching the videos on the launch, my opinion was changed a lot with, I guess, going into it with a bit more of a negative attitude. Seeing what they came out with, it's going to be a crazy car.
It's the same motor as the M3, the G80.
So it's going to be the S58. This has the S55, so the S55s are making crazy power in the
and they rev high as well, right? Like what, 66?
Higher. The G80, it took forever for people to warm up to it. Look what they're doing with the aftermarket on those cars. It's really changed the car, just a different set of grills, and the car's completely different. I think once the aftermarket kind of hops on to the G87, I think it's going to fix those couple things. I think it's going to be a pretty kick-ass car.
The fact that you've had an E46 M3 and you have this M2, you're probably the right person to talk to about what makes it a true M car. Because the E46 M3 was probably one of the purest M car you could have gotten at the time. The E92 transitioned to a V8,
got
not
bigger,
necessarily
more comfortable.
And then the F80 was the transition to it. So what's your take on the two cars?
The E46 was awesome chassis, comfortable car, high revving. You really had to wind it out to have fun with it. This has kind of the same recipe, but with a lot more power.
Is that like 400, 450?
Stock, they're 405, about what they seem to dyno to the wheels, so they're very underrated, as most Beamers are. Yeah, this is, I feel, as close to what my original E46 M3 was.
In addition to this car, you also have something of a unicorn that's hiding out in your garage. It never really comes out as often as you'd like it to.
Yeah, I'd like to drive it a lot more, but it's a 73 Camaro. It's a car my dad bought new. My life was going around to car shows with him in it. When I graduated, it was my gift from my father, and
that's awesome.
He wasn't using it very much at the time, and then when I got it, I did some modifications to it, made it a bit more modern. I think it sparked his love for it again, that he went out and bought another one, and then for a couple of years we've gone around to more classic car shows together, and that's something we have a lot of fun doing, and that's what I'm hoping to do with my son.
You bought this car brand new,
which
is amazing. Just at the last of the window where they
when they announced that it was they were ending production on it. I think I ordered it 2 days before that, and my manager afterwards came and asked me, he's like, what do you know that I didn't? Because he's like, we're getting calls like crazy for people trying to place orders for these, and I'm like, oh, it's because they're ending production at the end of the month, and I was able to get one of the last couple allocations that were available. So
That's amazing.
And luckily he was kind of kept his word, and I was able to keep the car. Yeah,
That's awesome. But you loaded it up.
Yeah.
Have you done any mods to it?
Yeah, so most of the appearance stuff is all the M Performance parts. The front lip is actually off of the CS. They don't actually make a GTS hood for this car, so it's an aftermarket souvenir hood that is a replica of the GTS and CS hood for the F80s, because the CS hood on these is a little bit different. But
Nice.
yeah, everything else is as M Performance as possible.
Exhaust, everything is M Performance.
So I have a CS exhaust on it
nice.
with an equal length mid pipe to kind of
That's why
fix
it's
that.
the drone.
Yeah, the S55 sound is you love it or hate it. So I like the sound better with the equal length. It kind of makes it sound a bit more exotic than kind of raspy. So I think that's one of the biggest things that changed it. But
I was going to say, it's super loud. It's when you turn it on in here, it just
the cold start on it is loud, but then it tames down, and driving around it's pretty normal. So
And I've got these beautiful wheels on here as well. It's Edelweiss wheels, the same
Yeah.
as what Jeff has and
exactly.
what Galley.
They're the greatest people to deal with. And talking to Eric, and it's insane how quickly they can ship you a set of wheels from Germany. And
yeah.
3 days later you have your wheels on your car, and they're
I'm going to jab a little bit here to Tarsi here. Not 9 months.
yeah 3 days later I had my wheels. I had some importing issues, but that was more my issues.
Yeah.
That it had nothing to do with them. So
Would you consider this your forever car? I know the answer. We've kind of asked this a bit.
I would love to say yes, because I love the car. It's a great car. But to progress into what I want in the future, it's probably going to have to be sold or traded in to contribute to that. Because if funds weren't an option, I think it would be something I would add to.
Yeah.
But in order to make it to where the next car I want to get, it's something I'm probably going to have to sell.
I mean, you kind of have your forever car, which is your Camaro.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's going to be there forever. I mean, the sentimental value of that car is something that, even if, like, for the last couple of years I don't use it that much, it's something that the memories with my dad and everything. And I mean, Liam's been in it a couple times, and he likes it too. So it's going to be passed on to him. And I mean, hopefully I'll be able to pass on one of my cars, and he'll get two. So Grandpa's car and his dad's car.
So you have to at some point draw the line as to what car that you're going to pass along.
I'd love it to be this, but like I said, to be able to move on to something else, it's probably going to have to go.
So what would you say is next from this in your mind?
Honestly, probably a 997.2 GTS is...
Oh, 997.2.
Yes, is something that's for where I am now, having Liam, having something that has a back seat, something that's special. It's got the wide body. It kind of pulls everything. It's kind of a good in-between car.
Yeah.
It kind of pulls a lot of stuff in the Porsche world and put it into one car, and it's like that like happy median between stuff.
Man, I'm missing that 997. Why did I sell it?
So basically, your old car is what I'm shopping for right now.
So there is one on the market right now.
I've seen it. Yeah, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago when we went for our drive. You were saying, "Oh, I saw one."
Yeah, a white one GTS. It's a Carrera 4 GTS, so it's 4-wheel drive. But man, Eric and Peter will be happy to hear that.
Another one to join in the world. We kind of need to keep the BMWs to keep crashing the Porsche party there. And just
Would you consider trading this in for the new M2, the G87 M2?
I don't think so. I mean, seeing it and driving it, I mean, I'll be doing some PDIs and stuff when they come into the dealership. I mean, my opinion might change and it might push me in a different direction, but I don't, as of now, I don't think so. I think it's going to stay where it is until I either stay with this car or progress into something else.
The M2 is so close to an E46 M3, and that some of the mods that you've done to it, like the carbon brakes, it makes it the ultimate M car for me.
Yes.
As well. What's your take on that? Is it truly an M car now?
I believe so. With what I've done to this, in the beginning, I probably should have just ordered a CS.
Yeah.
But at the time, the big price jump to the CS wasn't doable. So I've kind of made my own version of it.
Yeah.
I've picked everything that I like about it, put into this. I like this color a lot better. So it's kind of what I liked about both cars put into one. Yeah, I mean, I think the new G87's kind of kept the same recipe. They've kept a manual as an option, which is a huge thing for us. 3 Series moved into that, kind of what the 5 Series used to be, and now they're moving the 2 a little bit bigger and stuff too. But
and the 7 Series is like the Rolls Royce.
Oh yeah, the new 7 Series. You look at the body lines on that, it's like, man, that almost looks like a 10-year-old Rolls Royce now with the body lines. Everything's progressing a little bit, and I love the fact that they're trying to keep the M2 as raw of a fun, something you can drive every day, take to the track, and just does everything well.
So your Instagram handle is M2. Well, it's M2, but people kind of reference you as the M2 Ned.
Yeah, the question I get the most at places is, who's Ned? I thought I picked a plate that couldn't be mistaken. When I looked at it, I only saw one thing, and when my work registered my vehicle and they brought me the plates, the girl who brought it to me is like, who's Ned? And from day one, it's kind of been stuck in my head now. So now it's basically, when somebody asks me that, I'm like, oh, the car's Ned. And then after, when people look at it for 5, 10, 15 minutes sometimes, they look at me and they're like, I get it. And they're like, it's a great plate, but it takes a while to kind of put it together.
Following that train of thought, did you get this car with the mindset of you kind of posting content on Instagram and things like that, photography and all that, or?
I always had the Instagram thing going with no followers. I'd post some stuff here and there of my old 335. Then it kind of, when I got this, started meeting more people, getting tagged in more stuff, and it kind of started rolling a little bit more, and then the followers kind of started taking on from there, and it kind of turned into fun. Where can we make this go? Yeah, it's just cool seeing who you connect with online, and people from other countries. You get conversations going.
Is photography a big thing for you?
I've always loved photography. I like taking pictures. I can't edit. So I'll usually take a lot of pictures, and they never go anywhere from there. So I'd love to be able to learn how to edit pictures and go from there, because actually taking pictures, I really enjoy it. I have all the camera equipment and stuff, but it never seems to go anywhere from just using my cell phone in the end to take a picture, a couple little quick preset edits, and that's basically where things go from there.
Phones go so far as well. It's super amazing as well what they can do. Well, I mean, all you got to do is follow Peter Nowacki.
I mean, he's probably one of the best around. I mean, his stuff's incredible. So, if somewhere it can even get to like a quarter of that, and I can just at least use my own pictures, other than it would be awesome.
I wish you great success in the sort of Instagram journey and photography world. Anyways, thank you. This conversation has been great. I appreciate you coming on, taking
Perfect
the time
timing with the new with the G87. So hopefully it sparks a debate for you online and gets a lot of people fighting over the two.
I've got a G87 M2 on order, and I'm not quite sure if I want to go forward with it. Same logic as you. My ideal goal will be to get that 992 911 GTS.
Yes.
And if I get this, is this pushing me or delaying getting that 911 GTS? So I have to really think through the timing of it and when it's possible. I mean, they say December, but who knows when the car's going to arrive.
With how allocations and stuff go right now, it could be you don't buy a car and you wait 3-4 years. And then it could be, oh, my M2's here, and you get the call saying that your GTS allocation's in, and then you're kind of in that. So it's, with the way things are in the world right now, it's so hard to judge where the car world's going.
I mean, being that it is going to be considered like a true M car, a pure M car. M2s it's kind of that evolution of that E46 M3, which is unique and very desirable.
That core M recipe of
fun, engagement, a driver's car, practical, take it to the track and bring it back and
drive it year round, do whatever you want with it, and it does everything well.
It's amazing. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
It's been great. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much, man.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate it.